Hey, can I ask you a quick question? Just because
Sure.
somebody asked a question on the YouTube chat, and I answered it, but I want to make sure I didn't answer it incorrectly. So the oral law, when did the actual writings begin? I know it was oral before then, but when was the writings of the oral law? What range, time frame?
So one caveat.
Okay.
Most people think that the Torah was first written and eventually people wrote it down. So this is a very big mistake. I just want to say this. It's very counterintuitive, and I
Okay.
just want to say that even though it doesn't directly answer your question.
Okay.
As it turns out, the Torah was written, see at the end of...
Now talking about the
Uh,
oral Torah, the
Yeah,
oral
I
law.
know.
Oh, okay.
So, but
Thank
it
you.
was oral and then written.
Okay.
That's very important.
Oh, okay.
Noah didn't have a Torah, but he knew orally. I just wanted to make that, even though it doesn't directly answer your question. And the Torah is written down at the end in Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 9. That said, during the Roman occupation of Eretz Israel, the land of Israel, during that period, let's say, of the 2nd century BC, which is even a little bit earlier, because we're going back to the time of
Okay.
Antiochus Epiphanes. From then already, that means, let's say, 1st, even 2nd century BC, things were being written down. Just notes were taken, and we see those notes in the caves in Qumran that were discovered. It was then what was a kuntrus, these notes were then compiled, and by the end of the 2nd century, let's see, by the year 200 CE, Rabbi Huda Hanossi of blessed memory in the northern part of Israel then would assemble the notes that have already been collected in writing but were not organized. He organizes that into what's called the Mishnah. So it is already being written. Individuals are writing parts already in 1st, even 2nd century BCE,
Okay.
but it was not organized. And then in the time of Rabbi Huda Hanassi, Rabbi Judah the Prince, was known as Rebbe, then it is organized into Mishnah and other parts, Brisa, which has the same status, but it's not part of the Mishnah. So that answers that.
Very good. Yeah.